Hello and welcome to the Department of Deportation podcast, the DEPODcast, where you can get all your latest news on immigration, the border, and deportations. Don't forget to visit departmentofdeportation.com for all your latest news and merch. On this episode, we'll be taking a look at Honduras' recent change in attitude. We'll be taking a look at how defunding NGOs might be a good tactic going forward. And we'll take a look at how the Mexican border operations leading to 0 gotaways in a day might mean that we need to flood resources to other areas, like perhaps southeast Florida. So let's see how Honduras was feeling about a month ago.
President Xiomara Castro has responded to Donald Trump's threats of mass migrant deportations once he becomes president. In a national broadcast on New Year's Day, she said if he sends Hondurans back home, she could kick the US out of military bases in her country.
In the face of a hostile attitude of mass deportation of our people, we'd have to consider a change in our policy.
Mass deportations are a big worry for Honduras. More than 500,000 of the country's people live in the states without legal status, according to official US figures. Many send much needed remittances back home.
She sure was talking tough. Guess what? They're going to be taking flights back. Next up, we'll hear some intelligent discussion on NGOs and how they're getting paid by USAID.
Catholic Charities is an NGO. Okay. They get money from the federal government for nonprofit goodwill work. We have NGOs operating all over the world. I would argue we have too many NGOs that are not operating in the interest of the United States, but the deep state has been funding them for decades.
Catholic Charities
is one of them. So Catholic Charities is one of the larger NGOs. They operate, I believe, yes, on both sides of the border. And in order for this entire process to happen, and they use kids as the first wave of it, because we as a country would say, if kids come to our border, we will accept them in. But because of COVID rules and Title 42, we're not going to accept in adults. And that's what happened. It is a staffing issue. It is an ideological issue in the Democrat Party. Even today, they argue against Tom Homan and what he's trying to do, because for them, they have always wanted open borders.
So that's just a little more about the NGOs. It's just the tip of the iceberg. We are seeing that there was a whole lot more to dig into today when they were getting rid of some of these programs through stopping the USAID payments. So in our next clips, we're going to see first off that some of our southern border crossings have plummeted to near 0 encounters, which means that we may have to surge some of our resources down to areas like southeast Florida, which has seen an increase in migrant smuggling and even a bunch of Chinese migrants.
Not only are the encounters down here in the El Paso sector, but also the number of gotaways. So these are the migrants who are successfully evading capture. The night before our ride along on Wednesday, Border Patrol agents told us they had 0 gotaways. That is the first time in years, Bill.
Wow. Coral Gables police have caught at least 47 migrants in about the last 2 weeks. They believe in both cases they entered by boat through the Snapper Creek Canal here from the ocean. It takes them through this narrow corridor in the Matheson Preserve, which can go for miles and is not well lit at night. And this can take you all the way back into a residential area. The Coral Gables Police Marine Patrol is driving close to boats they see in the bay by the Snapper Creek Canal. Patrols are targeting this area after 2 different cases of migrant crossings happened in their city.
They could have, made landfall anywhere through this channel.
Police say they broke up what they believe were 2 smuggling operations. Cops caught 26 Chinese migrants on Tuesday near Old Cutler Road and Southwest 120th Street. On January 17th, cops found 21 migrants in a U-Haul. Police Chief Edward Hudak says state grants could help fund a larger police presence by that canal.
Florida does appear to be making some smart moves, though, by flooding FHP down to that exact same county, Dade County, and having him sit in front of the driver's license office.
Starting today, troopers with Florida Highway Patrol will now be stationed at all DMVs in Miami-Dade counties. ICE Miami recently arrested an undocumented immigrant for driving with a fake license. And on the same day, FHP said they are, quote, equipped and hard at work to enforce illegal immigration laws in Florida.
So as you can see, if you remove incentives and make it difficult for the illegal immigrants to operate, there's a good chance that they're going to leave and just self-deport, which costs U.S. taxpayers nothing. And that's our ultimate goal, have people self-deport, then we don't have to spend anything to get them out of the country. Well, thanks for joining, and don't forget to check out DepartmentOfDeportation.com for all your latest merch. And don't forget to like our channel, it really helps our reach.